Okay, let's go. What I was thinking was that what I could create now for this application, let me just run it up real quick. Um, this is a system for a church where I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to set up like a way for a church to manage everything in there. So I pretty much built everything from scratch. I'm not copying anything. So this is the system. I don't want to go over because it's something private and it's mine, and I want to uh, sell it later and get some subscription from other people. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it there. What I want is now to create is like maybe like a note taker. Well, the let's say the team leaders or the any team member can go in there and actually create notes. So I think it's a good exercise that we could do and show you how I implement or how I work with the AI. So right now what I'm using is Claude Code, and the model that I'm using is the default one, Sonnet 4.5, and this is the one that I'm going to be using. So this is the how I start. So let's plan new feature that is gonna be paid for in the future, but for the moment, let's uh, keep it free. We can test it out. The feature is a note taker, um, where any leader or person in the church can create notes and attach. Uh, no, I'm not gonna touch anything. Just notes, and this is gonna be per user. So when we store this in the database, we attach the user ID, and maybe we can add a page or view to see the available nodes or the nodes that exist in the database for the specific tenant. Um, so I need you to act as an experienced software architect, and consider not reinventing anything. Let's just use third third party libraries that can use that can provide this functionality. Let's also write basic unit tests for this. Uh, Nothing complex. So pretty much this is where I start doing it. What I'm thinking is that I could probably have a menu item in here. So I'm gonna let this agent to know that. So, and I also want uh, an access point in the dashboard sidebar. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I hit enter, and I'm in the plan mode. That is important because for me, I don't know. I don't go straight to the writing of code. At first I pretty much uh, put the prompt in, and then as the model is giving me like a plan, I remove things that I don't like and things like that. So I'm refining everything before executing the code. Also, that is important because as you can see here, the tokens. Um, we have to make sure that we're handling that properly, and so that's pretty much it. That is important to me. Um, so yeah, let's wait it until this model is doing the job. One important thing that I have on my app is that when I create a new app or whatever, I use some sort of markdown or any other text file to keep the memory for the model. So whenever I'm creating something, I'm like checking it out. And like for example, I create the Prisma models. I lay out the basic stuff that we need to move and create and things like that are important. And that way we are like always keeping a log of things. Um, so that is important to me. So yeah, let's keep waiting. Now, as you can see here, 65.2K tokens have been used. So now it pretty much has a comprehensive understanding of my code base. So now it's gonna like create a plan that is gonna like be helpful for us to execute. So this is a great thing. So as you can see here, this is the way I build pretty much everything. Thankfully, I have this Claude Code set up where it's gonna like let me know where there are things that the model needs to have extra input, so we can like refine it. At the moment, it's like telling me if which editor type I want. And to be completely honest, I think rich text for me is gonna be the one. I'm gonna be using the standalone notes only recommended, yeah. And the visibility is only, well, let's see. Everyone in church sees all notes. No. Owner and see all the notes. Yeah, this one is the one, and it's the one that is recommended. Add a free plan for testing. Yeah, recommended. So otherwise we won't be able to see it because I already have gates and access controls everywhere. So I don't want to mess with it at the moment. I provide the answers, and let's wait now and see what it comes with plan it comes up with. Perfect. These were my requirements, right? Rich text formatting, bold, standalone notes, no entity relationship. That's perfect. I don't need to have any entity relationships. This is important. I don't think anyone in the church can see the notes. Just important people, or the pastors, or the leaders, whatever. And for testing purposes, we need this. At the moment, I don't think we need to be testing anything really too specific on the unit test, so we don't have to overthink it. and sidebar access point, so we can have like, something in here in the menu. And by the way, this is pretty much an XJS app using the routers. So let me show you that. So here's where I have everything in the database related. Everything is being handled by the Prisma library. That is my go-to ORM that I like to use. I have migrations, obviously, that we need to keep separate and well named. The other thing is that I really like to extract things that are common in a lib folder, where I'm pretty much doing the heavy lifting. For example, I have a layer for data access, so whenever I'm accessing data from church or data exports or follow-ups or whatever, I'm using these data access point where pretty much everything is going through. Also, I make sure that all of these things here, these comments are well commented out, because if or anyone reads this code, it's gonna be like important to have this. Since this is an AI product, pretty much, I want to make sure that if any human is gonna like do something, for example, in my case, if I don't have access to the AI, I want to make sure that I am able to solve any bugs or things like that. So that this is pretty clear for me whenever I need to do stuff. Also, I have the types folder where I'm sharing everything, uh, all of the types. I have utilities that are pretty much, for example, colors, dates, email verification, things like that, where these are small, so we can share it. The validation stuff is where I'm, for example, the auth. This is pretty much what I'm doing. Nothing too crazy in there. Also, I have written some tests. Not too much. Just I'm testing just the business logic. I don't think I need to test any more than that. The coverage is important just to make sure that I have a baseline, and also he's the chunk of the important stuff that I want to make sure that we are tackling. So this is the approaches that we're using. The protected routes are the ones that are going to be blocked by a subscription, and the public ones are the ones that you see here, because this user has free plan, so I can pretty much access all of that. But there are other things that you cannot access. And when I'm commonly building stuff, I like to have some sort of layer where I'm dealing with all of the actions. For example, let's say people. This is where pretty much I do this kind of stuff. I extract important logic. For example, when I'm updating the follow-up status, that is when I create a new visitor, and the visitor, the system is creating an automatic follow-up. So when the leader is following up with the person, that's when this update follow-up status is going to be shown. For example, the leader has a quick call with him or with her, and that's when you're going to choose if it is with the latest data, in progress or done or whatever, because this system is automatically looking for these pendings, because this is important for a church. So we have to make sure that we are showing how many we have pending, so we can like move those real really quick to a good state, and we're following up with the people and things like that. So, and obviously I have the API layer where everything is being accessed by an API, RESTful API, and pretty much this is where all of this thing happen. The webhooks is for the PayPal stuff, and the subscription is just when the something happens, and then let's say I get a new subscription, then this webhook is gonna this API subscription thing is gonna trigger, and it's gonna change the subscription for it. And I use components, so we can share that across the app. So here's the plan that it created. So I pretty much go with everything that it's giving me. For example, this is what the model think about implementing. So the model is telling me that add a rich text note taking feature where users can create, edit, and delete personal notes. Owner admin can view all church notes for oversight. Free for testing, free plan, blah blah blah. These are the requirements that I laid out. And here is the technology choices. Since I'm pretty much like a project owner or a tech lead for this, but pretty much what I do is I pretty much use this thing here, and I go to the internet because this tip tab I've um, never seen it. So tip tab React, and I pretty much what I do is just validate how many downloads it has, the how well the documentation is, in case I need to like revisit it. Uh, it looks really strong. This is pretty much what I was looking. Yes, this simple thing to do. Um, this is great. This is great. So I'm not gonna like think too much over. Since this is my project, I am kind of I'm not too restrictive on things. So I just pretty much see what the logic behind this plan is. So this is a good way of setting up your model is whenever it's picking technologies, let's have a why clause where it's explaining why it makes sense to use it. And then obviously have an alternative like Quill. In the past, I've used it, but it's kind of a pain to set it up and make it work as expected. And yeah, so I don't think Quill is the one that I'm gonna go with. And the storage JSON because JSON is the way to go. That's simple to say. Um, I could run this by myself, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna let the model to do everything for me. Let's see the database schema that is gonna like create. I mentioned that the node I wanted to have a user ID, obviously the church ID because this project here it's it's a tenant per tenant base. So each church is gonna be different. So pretty much that. The node is gonna have an ID, church ID, title, content. That's great. That is what I want. And make sure that you have these indexes so the data is being accessed real quick. There are not too much bottlenecks in there. I'm sorry. So yeah, pretty much that. Based off this model, we need to make sure that everything is like in line. Now the church model needs to have a property being point to the node model and the user as well, so we can track them. And when we do that, that is going to cause a change in the database, and we need to make sure that we have a migration node that we need to like then uh, run. I'm not gonna do it again. This is a AI project, so I'm gonna let it do everything by its own. And so here's how this is important because we need to have like some sort of way of testing it. That is great. The validation, the node, that is good. Here's the thing. Why is giving me all of this? Because this project I started it as I don't know, like 2 or 1.5 months ago, and I already laid out a bunch of rules uh, about this. That whenever he's giving me a plan, think about validation, think about edge cases that probably is gonna are gonna be like skipped by my head. So I want to make sure that I have something in the model that is preventing me to just hit enter and throw up a lot of code that I probably not gonna understand. So I need to make sure that all of these edge cases, the validations and stuff like that, is being taken care of. So this is important. We need to validate this schema because it's gonna cause issues, security issues as well. So all of this is code that I could probably write. I've written in the past, so this is easy for me to maintain. I don't have to think about this too much. Let's say this is the tip tab specific configuration, so I would need to read this more in order to just know what it's doing, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. I don't have to think about this too much as well. And as I mentioned, I have a data access layer where I'm pretty much accessing everything. If I want to access nodes, this is the way I'm gonna access it. So these are the actions or the functions that I need to have, so I can have the list nodes or the filtering, the get node, blah blah blah. So this is important. This is pretty much following all the conventions that I already laid out in the beginning. Um, so yeah, this is good. This is a critical pattern. Obviously, this check here is important, so we avoid anyone for read it. And since I'm using Next.js, I'm quite heavily using the actions from the server. So these are the actions that I'm going to be triggering on the server, and you will see the logs in here in this where I'm executing. As you can see here, I'm pretty much checking all of the queries that have been triggered. Um, and standard pattern. This is the standard pattern that I use pretty much in every action that I create for Next.js. So I don't have to think. This is pretty easy code to maintain if in case I needed to maintain it. Um, since I have components that are shared across the entire app, but I also have components that are specific for each layer. For example, the protected, I have a specific private quote unquote components folder where I'm pretty much throwing all of the components that are related to that folder. For example, that route, the nodes route, those are the ones that I'm going to be using. If I would need any share components, I would pretty much share import from the share folder. So that's how I'm like doing it. Oh, I missed something. Yeah. And here's the main page. How I wanted it. Pretty much it's a server component that is going to check for the required auth. It's going to check for these. Probably this, I've seen this in the code quite a bit, so I can probably check out a new file where I'm pretty much storing this feature gate functionality elsewhere in a specific utility function where I'm pretty much importing everywhere, so I don't have to write this a bunch of times. But this is the way I'm fetching data. I'm not using any fetch, use hook or whatever. Everything is on the server. Let's see. This is just extra important stuff that I don't have to think about. Just loader components. And this is the unit test. This is great because this is where I would write the test in the data access nodes to check for the filtering, the tenant isolation in the CRUD operations. That is important. I don't need to test anything on the front end because you can test it by your own using the app, the feature in the website. So, and yeah, since I'm using Vitest, this is the way you write that. We first need to mock the Prisma layer, and then we can access it down here, making mock nodes, so we can like test it out. And here's the file structure. We first create a Prisma. We add plans and validations and things like that, and then we execute that on the front end level. And here's the data access point test. And this is the matrix. So any owner can view on, view all, edit on, and blah blah blah, but not the leader. The leader cannot like view all and it cannot edit all and delete all. So that this is important. This is a good table and matrix where I am like validating my my thought process. If I see something that is probably not as expected, then probably I would be doing like in the RBAC matrix. I want that the leader has view all access, so he's gonna like change it real quick. But to be completely honest, I see that this is the way to go for me. Uh, yeah, this is important as well. Use the rollback plan in case we need to roll back anything from the notes. This is important because when something wrong goes out, I have an option to do it by my own. So it's good. This is a good way to have also your expertise in place in that you can execute things in here to avoid issues. Also, I'm using this version control here. So uh, if I see something that I don't like, I can pretty much discard it and continue. I don't have to think about this. And this is another thing that I also mentioned when I was creating the model. Um, let's make sure that if there are any enhancement that we could do post doing this, let's lay it out so we can like, I don't know, have a thought about these features that we could implement, if they make sense or not. So yeah, key design decisions. Yeah, tip step over quill. That is important. JSON storage, standalone nodes, free plan initially, owner, blah blah blah. So this is perfect. So for Claude, I can pretty much yes and auto accept edits, or I can add manually approve edits. With other features, and probably with this one, I would pretty much auto accept everything. But just for the sake of this video, let's go with the manually approved edits. So now he's gonna like trigger the plan, and he's gonna start working on it, and he's gonna be step by step. I'll be able to review and each of the steps. That way, I'm responsible for the code that is providing me, and if I have to make any decisions, I will be able to do it instead of creating everything. But the good thing for me and when I'm using Claude is that it's gonna give me a proper plan to execute, a to-do list, so I can go step by step, and that way I can also write the commit messages when something is like done. So yeah, now it's installing the tip-tap dependencies. So yeah, since it installed the dependency, I can go here and yeah, as you can see, let's say install deps. Well, I don't have it like set up here, but this is not an issue. I can write it up here. Uh, commit install deps. Yeah, yeah, pretty much that. Perfect. So here's the thing that is good for me is that it's going step by step, creating everything. So let's say yes, create the property inside of the church, I guess. Uh, let's wait for this to happen because Claude is like memory and context. Uh, the window is context based, so it has a percentage when it's full or not. So at the moment it's full, so let's wait for it to like keep the context in a short text model, and then it's gonna trigger another session. Is but preserving the other context that it previously had. So let's wait for it. You can see here the conversation was compacted, so that's great. Yeah, let's allow it all the edits because it's gonna take a lot of time. and one by one we can be like checking it out here. It added the nodes in the church model. It added the nodes in the user model. So let's wait. That's perfect. This is the model. The node is down here. Here's what we did. By the way, the database for this is a Postgres database in Neon. So it pretty much is a Postgres database. Let's see what it's doing now. Yeah, we can omit this. It's not important. This is important. We need to run this later. But already did it, so this is the good thing that I like about Claude. I don't have to think about this too much. Um, I mean, I've seen moments where I have to like give it extra input when I'm working on something that is gonna the model is giving me the wrong output. That happened mostly on the when I'm using ChatGPT Codex that I use in this here. But what I use Codex for is pretty much my designer, my UI designer. So whenever I'm creating something, I'm like reviewing it, and then I let it know that we need to make sure that it goes or it's using the theme and the aspect, the UI that we already have. So please make adjustments and make sure we're like keeping it as close as the theme it is, so as we can. So that's good. Now what it's doing is it already created a validation schema nodes. So let's see, here's the validation, pretty clear. This is the schema when this is being done. Now this is the configuration file for the tip-tap. And also here's the plans. This is the gatekeeping layer. So I'm letting it pass through the free version, so we can test it out. What else? Um, so like this is good because when it's writing new code or is implementing something, it first I have it set it up. It first to check what is the pattern that we're using and write it that in the same way, so we're not like doing anything extra. So here's the data access level. This is obviously not yet there yet, so let's wait for it to be done. Um, Also has these are the options for the filtering. Yeah, pretty much this is important. We can pass it in. This is the way of getting the list of nodes. What it's doing is pretty much checking for the if it has access to can view all. If not, then it's gonna do something and it's like filter out based on the role for the user before giving me the data that I want. So because it's setting it up in the where clause. So when we are getting the nodes, let's get the count, but use the where. And that is a common approach for the ORM. Get me as much. I'm sorry. Get me as much nodes that I am able to see based off of the where class that we already did, and include the user, blah blah blah, so we can use it in the front end. This is common thing that I already used in the past, so this is good. Yeah, this is the way to do it. The data we're passing in from the front end, and we're pretty much, yeah, pretty much this is what we're gonna change on the node. Um, Delete node. Yeah, these are common approaches that any senior developer has done in the past. That is expected, I guess. At least for me, I already done that manually. And that's good. Now it's created, let's see, it created the action notes. So notes, these are where like I mentioned before, I have an actions layer where pretty much I'm accessing the actions that each layer has. So create a note it requires for the session and the church, and then it's gonna be able to create a note. And whenever I create a note, let's update the path that already I'm in, so we can have an update on the UI. So that is good. I don't think have to think about this too much. Update note, same stuff. This is the stuff that we can like extract in a function, so we can like reuse that. This is the way to update it. Yeah, pretty much same. Validate. We have the catch and error. And since we have a way to manage these not these errors, we have a toast component is gonna be trigger that. Yeah, I don't have to think about too much. Here's the component. I already created a component inside the notes page. So here it is. Let's see where is the entry. Okay, so this is the client component, of course. So yeah, this interface is gonna be using this component is gonna be using this interface. So we can like have a contract, and that way we can pretty much make sure that all of the props are being passed in using and leveraging the TypeScript compiling, transpiling, and the validation. And yeah, this is pretty much code. This is great because it's already using the Tailwind setup they already implemented. Probably I would not do this. I would extract this handler because I don't want to have this thing in here. But since it is too small, let's leave it there. Same here. Probably I would create a function outside here. Um, let's see what it's doing on the layout. Yeah, it's now giving. It's actually wiring it up in the sidebar. Is failing because this node icon is not there. So let's see if we can find it. Already created it, as you can see here. So that's good. Uh, Here's the notes. Now we can access it. This is great that happens. So let's see. Maybe we can, we found a bug. And yeah, let's see how. Probably this node is, probably this error is because we need to update the database. We need to push the new schema and the what is the other thing? The migration. Probably node is not defined, so that is obviously a way to know that. So let's see. Just wait. Let's wait for the unit tests. Here's where you. This is the way I'm managing the dashboard sidebar. Pretty simple. Uh, this in the future could be handled by a CMS, but again, I don't want to think about that at the moment. Let's see if the tests are good. Now it's asking me if we can run the test command. Let's see what it's testing. It's yeah, the actions that we created from the layer. We're mocking Prisma. That is important. Yeah, we're defining this test case. The list nodes, and before each, we're gonna clear out all the mocks so we don't have like leftovers. And now the RBAC filtering is gonna be like pretty much the leader sees only their nodes, their own nodes, yeah. So the user ID, church ID, find to have been called, yeah, with the and the curve must be filtered by user leader, yeah. Yeah, this is gonna change per user base or role base. Yeah, multi-tenant isolation. Uh, the list node is gonna take a church ID, a user ID, and a role. Yeah, that is good. So now it's gonna like find many to have been called with the church ID, and this is gonna be obviously executed per multi-tenant basis. So if it is a different church, now you won't be able to see it. Pagination, yeah, that is good. Get a note, create a note, update note, delete note. I don't have to think about this too much. So here's what the model implemented. Database layer, added a new model, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, as I mentioned, added the nodes to the free plan so we can test it out. This is the business logic. Everything is validated by the nodes. Validation endpoint, everything is in the tip-tap config, and we have the data access layer for this. So this is good. We have server actions that are going to be triggered on the server. This is important for me because I really don't want to be calling anything from the front end. One rule that I have is that don't trust the front end for anything. So I let the server handle pretty much everything. So yeah, we have a few UI components. Yeah, it created a node editor and a node car. I created a node model, node button, nodes page, and the loading skeleton for it. So if we see something on the page when it's rendering, let's see if the error is happening. Yeah, that's perfect. So what I normally do is if I don't know where is this error happening or I don't have a clue, probably what I do is copy this and I let it know, hey, uh, there's there's an there is an issue when trying to access the slash nodes page. Here's here's the error, and I pretty much pasted that in, and I let it like figure it out. I think I know what is happening. It's because the database is outdated, and that's why it's like giving me the issue. Like you can see, it's trying to generate a new Prisma model and it's executing it. So let's see, has been regenerated, so that's good. The DB push has failed, probably because the database was sleeping. But now I tried to do it. It seems like it's working. The data schema is already synced and the Prima has been regenerated. The issue is that the layer next to the server needs to restart to pick up the new layers. Okay, so that's good. Let's restart it. That's good. Let's see if it now goes to nodes. That's great. As you can see here, uh, we don't have nodes. Let's create a new node. That's great. That is a new way of fixing issues. So I guess that something happened because this is a client component. So I guess the immediate render is like, yeah, it having issues when it's rendering something from the backend that's being sent by the server to the front end. So there is a mismatch. So let's give this now. Now it looks like the client client component is having issues with creating new nodes. Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned, it's a server-side render application, so we need to make sure that this is been there. Thankfully, the TipTap library already has that in there. So let's see this. Let's clear this up. Let's create a new node, new test node. this this is a way. This is how I normally use AI when building stuff. Create note. Like now it's like it did everything. It created a note and inserted it, and it fetched the note. Let me see. Yeah. Now it's giving me everything. Here's the note. Uh, I can edit it. Note. That's great. I need to think about that. Let's create a new note. New note 2. This is cool. Let's see if everything works. And yeah, perfect. Now we have another one. Let's create another one. Delete note. Delete it now. Create note. Now delete this one. Luminar. Yeah, perfect. It's pretty much doing everything. And it changed from 3 to 2. That's great. So one other thing that I like to do is when this is working, I let them know. I let the know. This is not working. Can you review the work done and make sure we're not re-implementing or adding bugs? Make sure to find edge cases. So now it's gonna like do an investigation just to make sure. And this is my agent for the UI. So help me. I created a new notes page and a few notes components. Help me update the styling to match our design system. And remember, I already have these agent here to know what it's doing, so I don't have to type that in again. And since I haven't closed this context window, it's gonna remember that. If I close it, probably I have to give it the same prompt that I already gave it, so it's like works again as I wanted it. So let's see. I'll conduct a comprehensive blah blah blah. Yeah. Let's see. What is this? Yeah. So now I have two agents working, my UI and my product agent, and this is the software architect. I don't want to like be too in depth on agents, but I could create different agents. So as you can see here now, the UI is being done, is being enhanced. It's giving it a shadow to each of these. Then the Nueva Nota button now it has like a really cool look to it. Let's see if it's updating the model. Yeah, it's now pretty nice to see. Uh, yeah, really cool round edges, and the WYSIWYG is great as well. Let's see if the Eliminar is looking good as well. Yeah. Nice. It's giving it like this hover effect. Looks really cool. this is the way now I do stuff on personal side projects. When I'm dealing with client work, pretty much I make sure that I am aligned with their rule set. I don't I don't do this specifically. I would use it like a thinker if I need extra documentation or if I need to revalidate things. I would probably do it like that. If the rule set for the specific project is letting me do something like let's build everything with AI or something like that, probably I will do it. But yeah, probably that's the way I would be tackling any project. No, it all depends. And one thing, this is the assumption here is that the one that is using the AIs should know what it's talking about, right? Uh, it's not just, hey, I'm using this AI and I'm let it just throw code at randomly and I don't know what it's doing and I'm not able to fix it or something like that, you know? The assumption is that the one that is using the AIs know about AI and know about the stuff that is writing. So I don't depend on the AI. I can pretty much solve any issues on my own, so that's good. Uh, so yeah, as you can see here, this thing here, this I don't like it. So what I do is I take a picture and I let it know that I don't like the colors. Play the colors are too vivid, and I would prefer light, lighter colors. Nice. I can deal with it. I can do some other stuff with it later, but it's looking pretty nice to me. Probably not this pink color here, but I'm gonna let it there. It's at least better to my eyes, right? And this agent here is like, as you can see here, is adding different things that it found. It's finding the alert with toast notification. That is critical because I don't want to see alert. I want to see the toasts. So and everything is pretty much in the U on the UI or at the front end level. So that is good. Um, yeah, just wait for it to finish. It's gonna give me like what it's gonna do or what it did or what is done now. But now I have a bunch of things. I'm fine with this amount of changes without not commits, because this I see it like a full feature. Everything is encapsulated in the feature for nodes, so I don't care if I throw this entire thing in a commit because everything is contextualized to nodes. So here's what it did. It found a few critical things and a few high priority issues. For example, the content size. This is great. This is DOS protection. That is good. This is good because it's gonna give us extra layer of protection. Um, Obviously, the memory issues is obviously a thing that we need to keep in mind for the uh, performance stuff. Um, Content validation. That's great. Memory leak. That is great because uh, I've seen a lot of React apps dealing with this memory leak stuff, and it's because not having a use effect or using it wrong. Properly handling, that is great. This is great. What I really like about AI thing is because it gives me this race condition. Like whenever I'm looking for edge cases, the race condition is gonna come up often, and that is good because whenever I have users or whenever there are users interacting with the app, this is gonna happen more often than not, and there are gonna be issues where something is not there because someone already deleted it and things like that. And having this in the proper way is gonna relieve some bugs in the future. So that is good. This is good because now we are gonna see nice notifications. Let's test it out now. Um, let's create a new note. Uh, Notes, new note, update. That is great. And, oh, what was the issue? Let's see. Oh, there. Here's the notification. Now, what I notice is that I cannot create it with an empty content. Yeah, it cannot. La nota no puede ser, no puede estar vacía. That is great. These are just for dev environment, right? This is not important. Let's see. That is perfect. This is great. I think the UI can be better. Probably not showing this. Just make sure that it's showing like a document icon here, and I can access the node. So I would need to create a node slash in the Slack here in the feature. I'm not gonna do that right now. Um, that's perfect. Let's see what it's also did. Um, Eight modern text improvements, escape key. That is important because of the ARIA and the accessibility stuff. And this is also great as well. Uh-huh. And this is great. We're rate limiting in a way the amount of things that we're doing, so we're disabling what operations have been pending. So that's great. And the security status, that is also one thing that I added to the model. I needed to verify every time I'm doing a change. Let's make sure we are considering security as important. And here it's pretty safe. And yeah, optional enhancement, body scroll, optimistic UI updates. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, um, I think this is a small thing that where I'm showing how to use it. I don't want to have this video to go over at an hour and a half. Um, but this is pretty small. Just a specific example of the stuff that I work normally with AI. Obviously, there are things that are going to be way more difficult and complex, and probably is going to take like give me more headaches. Probably, um, it probably I would be like doing stuff manually, but that's fine. I'm also looking for that as well. If I'm an engineer, I should be able to manage the code that is writing. So and in an hour of this it's not showing everything, but I want to make sure that you see something how I use it. And now let's see, let's commit. um, Added new feature to create nodes and manage them. Perfect, that is great. And this is omit the other ones. I don't have to think too much on the commit side of things for this project. So but normally what I would end up doing is having a really full-fledged with the context and notes on the commit. I don't like having the AI to write my commits because this is a way for me to see that I understand what I did or the specific feature that I wanted the AI to build. So in this moment, I'm able to like say, hey, I created this layer, I created this action, and then I wired this tip tab third library, blah 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 blah, where I'm pretty much laying out everything. So that's my thinking. I could be extra lazy and let it know that I need a commit message for this, and probably I would do it, but not that too often. But this is just a small thing for me to present how I use models. And obviously, the other thing that I could probably do is, since I'm using Windsurf, while I'm writing code or things like that, I could probably use the enhancement that the code enhancement that Windsurf gives me. Um, but that's when I'm writing code on my own, so I don't have to do it right now. This is an AI based product, so that's the way I'm gonna keep it. But yeah, this is just some extra information that I want to share with you. I hope this makes sense. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think.